So I did that thing that you're not supposed to do. I bought an unbranded gaming accessory on eBay. Was it worth the money I spent? Is this thing just a piece of garbage? I don't know. I haven't put it together yet. Let's do that now. Let's take a look at the chair first. For the most part, it's actually a pretty comfortable chair, believe it or not. A lot of good bolstering. I like the off-color stitching. I mean, for what it is, for the price point you got here. Now, you do have some recline. That is all the way back there. All the way forward. And you got multiple spots in between. Now, I have sat in this, and like I said, the padding is pretty good. You've got, this is pretty flat right in here. You're not going to get a lot of lumbar support there. So I got to say, I'm really liking the seat. Okay, so the seat came in its own separate box. It went together really simple. There was just one fastener and then a cover for the side. And it was really it. So I didn't bother filming it because for the most part, it went together fine. The bracket was a little bit bent, but I was able to kind of bend that back in place. This, I think, is going to be a different story because, I paid less than $300 for this. And I wanted to get something, now that's probably not the cheapest thing you can find, but I wanted to get something that was going to mount up to my steering wheel and pedals, and I wanted the seat to be, not, plywood. There we go. All right, so you're not going to get a ton of great packaging here, but I think I'm going to bring the camera over and let you see what I'm seeing. Basically what you're going to get, not a lot of foam packaging. Everything is wrapped up with plastic. You've got some bubble wrap here on what looks like the bottom part of the frame. But for the most part, it's kind of sparse. You can see some of this, some of these bags have already ripped open. But it's really no big deal. This is all steel tubing. So unless something is like really bent, I don't even mind little scratches. But, for the price, I guess I really can't expect high quality packaging, but I think I expected a little bit more. You've got a few pieces that are in individual boxes, and I'll show you that as I unpack it. I don't know, it's pretty, it's not the thinnest stuff in the world. I mean, if you bought stuff from China, thin metal, there's, you're not looking at fully welded pieces. You've got some tack welding here, but a lot of these, you can tell they took this, they cut this, and then they broke it over. So you've got a bend there, so that doesn't require a weld, so tack welding here and there. So I'm not sure what this piece is for, maybe the pedals, but I don't know. It's pretty stout. It's definitely have some weight to it. Shouldn't matter. You've got some kind of booger welds there and there, and this is the upright that's supposed to hold your monitor. That thing that I don't have because the uprights, I don't think they come with this kit. That was a separate option, and I couldn't find that eBay listing, so I don't know if it's even available anymore. Once again, this is just, it's in a bag. It's not taped up or sealed up. None of the ends are capped. I think that's what this bag is here. And then that's it. The only paperwork inside is just one sheet. Disassembles the ultimate support to install the instruction for use. I'm a big, strong, smart guy. I can figure this out. Okay, you have some miscellaneous parts, and then you have a very small bag of hardware. Isn't that cute? Aww. But it comes with 2 wrenches that may not even last this project. And basically what you need to do is just, if you have your own tools, use those, because I got a feeling I'm going to be struggling with these. Here's the other box. Goodbye. This just has, looks like brackets, spacers, small pieces here. I think that's where you mount your shifter. Okay. All right. Yes. What I like to do with my hardware is just sort of separate it by length. I'm pretty sure these are all the same socket head, so we're just going to separate these out, and then because this isn't very specific, we're just going to have to guess. Okay, so here's what I have for fasteners. I have no idea if I have enough. Don't really list a lot of hardware. you know, just, I mean, this pile doesn't look anything like the, like, what was that, 10 bolts or the two bolts? Behind footboard screw X2 times 2? So which 2 are they talking about? Come on. Son of a... This sucks. Now this is kind of a pain. I mean, you got to get this damn thing. You got to really line this up. These cross sections, I think they go in here. That's the problem with not having a step-by-step instruction guide. I don't even know if this is right. See, there's no way. There's no way it's going to work. Okay, so I think I'm going to have to loosen up this screw even more. You're gonna have extra parts every time you buy something from China. Yeah, okay, so these holes, you'll see this, you've got a hole on this end right here. The illustration shows it facing this way and pointed up. And, I mean, you know, why would this be wrong? We really don't have many pieces left. Now that we've got that done, we really just got the seat portion, so. That's what you actually bolt your, this part right there, what you're going to bolt your steering wheel to. So let's work on that right now. So we've got these two uprights here. We're going to bolt this way. Let me show you. Take it upside down, a little bit easier to see. Just like that, right? Yes? Sure. Okay, so we're going to need 4 of those. And I think that there we go. So, yep. So these 4 here, these 4 bolts, and we're going to assume that we need a flat washer for each one. And then we need a nut for them also. So this is definitely not the most intuitive of systems, but you know, it was the cheapest, so that's good. Okay, so it looks like by far the one that's going to take the most amount of hardware is going to be this last piece where the seat is. And this is actually made up of, you can see that, you got the seat and you've got 2 brackets that make up, 2 and 2 there, that make up, I guess, a riser for the seat. Theoretically, what this is going to allow you to do is go really low or allow you the ability to adjust this slightly. You're not going to be able to go too far. You can do a slight incline, level, and slight decline. So if all you had was the head, especially this being the seat, if all you had was, so you're not going to have that much actually holding this thing down. So I'm going to see, look at all that slop you got in there. So I'm going to go with a washer. I'm not sure why it's slotted this way if it's made for that seat. Boom, 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 boom. Reminisce all the stress I caused. It was hell. Hugging on my mama from a jail cell. Never happened. Running from the police, that's right. Mama catch me, put a whooping to my backside. Now that did happen. What do you want to do next? Do we want to put the seat on this? Let's do that. You want to do that? Let's do that. See that? And put the bolt in there. And so what we'll do is we'll get these first 2 bolted to the frame, there and there. And then once those 2 are tightened down, then we'll pull the adjuster lever and then we'll slide it back and we'll get the ones in the back. Gently. See if I can get that son of a mother. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to try to get one at a time. Try to get one at a time. Carefully. Alright. You're going to need one washer and one nut. See, it's good and it's bad that everything's loose. It's good because you can move it around and manipulate it. It's bad because it moves around. when you don't want to. I don't even know if this is like a 1 penny. This couldn't have cost a penny to make. This wrench I'm using right now that I know I'm going to snap, not because I'm strong, but because it's so brittle and weak. And I'm going to pull the adjuster lever and slide the chair forward as far as I can, see? So now I have a half decent shot of getting this to line up. So same thing, grab 2 more bolts, the last 2. I don't see any extra, so if you get this chair, make sure you keep up with all your hardware because they're not going to give you anything extra. Looks like I'm going to have just enough. I got to say, as far as racing seats go, I don't have a ton of experience. And by I don't have a ton, I mean I have 0 experience. This is the first one I've ever purchased. Actually, because all 4 bolts are loose, it slides pretty good. Just make sure you slide it evenly, right? 4.5. About 4.5. You know, honestly, I wouldn't even get this if you don't have access to it, just at least a socket set, you know. You can probably get by with their little Allen wrench, but man, if you had a socket and a ratchet, make quick work of these. And don't forget to put these little rubber feet on the bottom. We're going to put, I think there's 4 on the base, and I believe there is 4 on the other part. So, and then we'll loosen these up like that. And slide the whole thing together. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that's about as, I guess that's as far as it can go. Oh, it's probably hitting right here. It's probably hitting those bolts there, isn't it? Tighten those up. That's actually pretty sturdy right there. I like that. All right, so we're getting kind of low on hardware, so let's get the rest of it together. In this pipe, there's a hole right there. There's nothing in this upright section here. Let's consult our manual, shall we? Yeah, it doesn't show anything. There's a hole here, but there's no hole in this, so I guess this just stays like that. Let's get 2 of the long bolts, 2 washers, 2 nuts. Yeah, I think I'm going to want that sticking out the other way. So we'll put it that right there. And then I'll have to take this plate and move it the other way because that ain't right. Okay, so one thing I had to do is I had to go back on some of these connections and add this little plastic, it's like a cap, and it's got a little reducer piece inside. It just makes those tolerances a little tighter so these things slide together better. So I had to add those here, and then when I did that, it covered up the hole. But I think I'm probably done for tonight, so let's finish this up tomorrow. I got the breakfast of champions here, Hershey's chocolate and coffee. This can't be good for you. Okay, so it's day 2. The next day, morning of the next day. You can see all I've really done is just put the caps on. I've got all my little adjustable bolts there ready to go. So we're going to marry the 2 pieces together. I started to set this up, the shifter here, but if you put this on and you don't have this adjustment knob right here tightened all the way down, you're going to be cussing. You're going to be pissed off at yourself because it doesn't turn because it hits this little support arm here. So make sure you get this little tube completely inserted and this adjustable bolt all the way down tight before you put this on. So we're going to start off, we're going to put these things together. We're going to get them close. I'm going to adjust the seat, and once I'm happy with the distance between these 2 pieces, then we'll go ahead and get the steering wheel and the shifter out, and then get those adjusted and get all this mocked up, and then I'll give you my final impressions after I ate my chocolate and I drank some coffee, because I'm a diva. I'm bringing the 2 pieces together, and it's going perfectly. Not really. You gotta kind of put them both in at the same time-ish, or at least get them started. I'm gonna try to push these together if I go all the way, I guess we could start there, tighten that down. Check that out, because it's two pieces. It's not that it doesn't feel sturdy, it feels solid when you're sitting, but if you do that, sort of push, which maybe you could while driving, the whole frame is kind of flexing just at that point, right? I don't think there's any way to take that out. I don't know. This is not good. I don't like this. I would have preferred this be just a solid piece. Okay, so with this build, while I may have cheapened out on the seat, I'm not going to cheap out on the controls. I'm going to go with the Thrustmaster T300RS. This is the GT edition. The main thing with that, besides the cute little Gran Turismo logo, is you actually get the 3-pedal setup versus the 2. And this was not brand new. I got this slightly used. This is very hard to find, brand new. And when you can find it, it's pretty expensive. This I was able to pick up brand new. This is the shifter that you buy separately, and it works with this wheel. So let's go ahead and get this bolted up and see what it looks like, see how it feels. So it would appear that some of these smaller bolts that come with the kit, with the seat, actually work to fasten the wheel. So kind of cool. Well, there's your problem. Fuel pump's bad. So I'm very happy to note that these holes line up. So going back to the shifter, it looks like you can take that nut off the bottom and actually bolt this thing to the shifting pad, the shifter pad there. Okay, with that adjustable mount removed, you can see here's the bottom, and then here's the plate. And I'm actually going to have to reverse this around, but you can see I'm going to have 4 bolts that line up. That's going to be really sturdy. But because I had it facing this way, I had to take it off and face it this way. Not the end of the world, just one more thing to tackle. I'm going to put the pedals on next, and these things are just freaking massive. Real metal, high spring tension. I think this is all plastic here, but these foot plates are not anything that I've added. That's how it comes. Thanks, Thrustmaster. This is a tough one because it's tough to see under here because everything is black. Yes, I've only got 2 that line up. Definitely use the washer for being just a cheap eBay. And you can kind of see the back side of your bolts that you're running through the floor. So once you get that sort of lined up, you can see that. Torque that down. This should be, oh yeah, this is gonna be solid. Okay, so here's your shifter here. You can see this cable is kind of short, but it shouldn't really matter. Let's get this like this. Oh, this feels this feels good. Gas, brake. All right, last but not least, let's get the steering wheel on. Last piece. It's got a little screw that I'll be able to tighten up once I get this thing sort of locked in. Great thing about these Thrustmaster components is that you can get different steering wheels. This is just, I'm running the one that's came with its stock. It's got all the PlayStation buttons on it. This feels pretty good. This is not bad. We're going to do some cable management. We're going to tie this up somehow. Keep it from me. I don't want this to pull out of the wheel, obviously, but everything is mounted really solid for the most part. You got the flex in the frame right there, you know, where the 2 pieces come together. So you got that. If you push down, like I said, as I'm just, let's say I'm shifting and just jamming on the pedals, that's not going to happen. That only happens when I do that, and I may not do that. You may do that when you get out of the seat and get in it, but I'm not really doing that as I fake drive here. This is a little high. This is basically your dashboard that you can lower. Oh dang, okay, that makes That makes a big difference. So you do that, get that a little bit lower. That's nice. So you got a lot of adjustability with this. I mean, the dashboard goes up and down. This can obviously move forward and back. Your seat will slide, and it's a nice track. It feels very car-like. Doesn't feel like super cheap plastic. Like I said, I think once I get this kind of where I like it, which I think this is about it, I'm probably gonna, I don't know, I might bring the pedals forward. It feels kind of good actually. My legs aren't completely straight, but they're not like this either. So for long play, this might be the better thing. So my only two disappointments with this setup is going to be where these two frames sort of bolt together or slide together, but that's not really bad. I think the number one is going to be this shifter mount here. I'm going to double check this, but the other holes that I have don't line up through this frame. So I'm going to have to drill another hole, I think, and relocate one of these bolts up, further this way, so that I don't get that flex, because the two bolts are in the back there, and I've got too much leverage this way, so they're bolted back here. This plate tends to move up and down, and adjust this height. You can make it a little lower, because when you get too low, it's hitting your seat. So you can go. This actually feels, that's not terrible. Depends on where you want that. You can go a little higher. You can go actually really high. But I don't know. This right here doesn't feel bad at all, really. So that's not bad. So you can tighten that up. But you're still going to have, as you shift forward, you see the whole mount twist. So this right here, this feels pretty comfortable. Not a lot of lumbar support in the back, which I don't think a lot of these seats had that. If I had maybe I could just take a pillow or something back there and put it on my lower back. That would help that, make that a lot more comfortable. I like this. So the seat's done. The controls are in. What am I going to hook this up to? You're just going to have to wait and see. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Stay tuned for part 2 of this racing seat. And we're going to have a monitor, but not the standard monitor mount where you just have a monitor and that's it. I want to do something much more arcade. Make this feel like an arcade. But anyway, thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. If you like what you see, hit the like button. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. See how much fun I'm having now. Wait till I actually have a TV.